Hello, I am Mike Serino. I am the school counselor at the Herberger Young Scholars Academy here in Glendale, Arizona. And I guess today I speak to you as the government teacher at the Herberger Young Scholars Academy. And this is the signature assignment for the 585 creativity class at Arizona State University. So I'm going to skip around a little bit or answer the second question first, and then I will come back. So who am I designing this creative curricular experience for? This is going to be for a group of seniors. This is going to be their culminating kind of final exam type of project. It will be a project in which is more of a presentation or more of a culminating experience just on all the learning that we've had. These are all going to be seniors in high school, and I work at a school that is exclusively for profoundly gifted kids, so this should pertain to all of those students. So how would I describe this creative curricular experience? As I indicated, this is the culminating project. This is going to be a United States government class that is a requirement for all students to graduate. However, I do not want it to be just check a box. This is the class I'm taking because I absolutely have to take it. Rather, we are passing this democracy over to this next generation, and I want this next generation to be informed. I think there are so many students who are just so apathetic and are frustrated with the political process that they often say, you know, why should I even bother? Why should I vote? The process is corrupt. The process is meaningless. And so hopefully this process can give them that vested interest in there. And ultimately, they are going to be responsible for finding a passion that they have on a local, on a state, or a national level, and they are writing a bill. They are trying to get something enacted through our governmental process in order to elicit a positive change in our society. I think this goes back to Dabrowski and that overexcitability in gifted students, that yearning for equity and fairness and justice. So I'm trying to elicit something within our students that's deeply meaningful to them. So as I said, this is going to be a culminating process. So I'll kind of walk you through the 5 parts of the class, and then you can kind of see where we are going to jump in on this one. So why am I creating this curricular experience? You know, as I indicated, I think there's such bureaucracy within our governments now that it doesn't seem like we can get anything done. And as we learned in class, a lot of times it's not about us and what does the student think and how are they going to problem solve? How are they going to try to figure out the issues that we face as a society? So I want to turn this over to them. And again, what are they passionate about? What is something that they would like to see changed in order to do that? And I think it needs to be done in a creative way. So we'll examine how things have gone and the processes by which things have been tried or been addressed within the governmental, bureaucracy or parliamentary procedures and things like that, and then how would they go? And I think this is going to be a super critical thinking. How are they going to think outside of the box and help solve the problem? So the goals of this experience, I just want this to be a positive experience in the overall totality of the class. So as I mentioned, this is going to be the culminating project in which they are going to be writing a bill and talk about the process that they have to do it with, but there's going to be so many micro lessons prior to that. And with that, I think it starts with that creativity checklist, and it starts with those, the creative openings, and give that anticipatory set that kind of gets the kids into that subject and thinking about government and politics in the United States. And hopefully there can be some collaboration as far as the writing, as far as the economics of it, and using the mathematics. I know a lot of our students are super passionate about climate change and things like that, so I think that scientific elements will be in there, and then just looking at how can we help regulate that. So I think throughout their government class there will be definitely cross-curricular instruction and collaboration with some other teachers, and I think getting people to think about this from a different perspective. And is there that clear criteria for success? It'll be tough to measure, I think, as long as there's a tangible product and they're able to elicit justifications and rationales that have not been tried, then I think that can be good. But I think there is that ambiguity here where there's not, you have to submit a final product that looks just like this. It can come in a number of different ways from a number of different factions, and that's ultimately what I'm looking for is did they solve or did they attempt to solve an issue that's personal to them that has not been arrived at yet. So there will definitely be multiple iterations of this, so they will get that opportunity for feedback throughout this part. The work will be exhibited in a final presentation, and they will definitely exhibit that. I'd like to do almost a museum type of project or a Smithsonian type of project, so they can kind of reflect upon this, and there is that tangible artifact. And ideally on that local, state, or national level, they would have contacted or reached out who is our local representative here in Arizona, here in Phoenix, or here in their geographical location. Who would they contact with and say, hey, here's your brilliant idea, let's give it to somebody who right now can do something about that. So there definitely will be a tangible product, and like I said, there will be focused on the process of this part. So of the curricular experience, they need that core foundation of what is the process of all of this. So we'll kind of go through the process and look at that. And in that process, they will have to know the minutia and those small details to know, what is going to be relevant, what is going to be pertinent here for me to solve these problems or this singular problem. So when do I plan on implementing this curricular experience? So school starts on Tuesday the 8th, so it will be game on from there. I would anticipate sometime after Halloween, we will really dive into, like I said, we'll work on this process all the way through the semester, but probably by November, and that's always a short month, and then December is always kind of sketchy, so that'll really be when the presentations are working on, and we'll be working on them. But ultimately that's when that will happen. And then other relevance, background information, or contextual information that's important, just about this is again about our kids and these young adults that will be transitioning into society, and just having them have that sense of hope and having that sense of almost control to know that they can be an active part, and this democracy should be by the people, for the people, and they should have that active voice in there. There shouldn't be a passive experience. There shouldn't be, well, somebody else will fix it. Why can't it be us? Why can't it be them? Why can't they be the ones that generate this sense of hope? And then ultimately moving on down the questions. So who are you designing this for? We've talked about our seniors in high school. Why are you designing this? And again, this is about civic responsibility and just for them to know that they have a voice in our democracy, but how things have been going, have not been working. So thus creativity and using their amazing thought process and their creativity, I think will be the answer to these questions, as well as being, civic-minded individuals. So the goals for this experience, just for them to understand that the governmental process and how things work, and that they can be an active part of it. And how do they do this? I think they have to have that passion. And I think we know about gifted kids. They are deeply piqued in curiosity, and they have that sense of, once they do get that sense of curiosity going, their mind just works, and they really have that drive towards being problem solvers. So my big goals is A, to have them learn the governmental process, and then B, have that sense of hope in which they feel that they can be an active part of that. How are they concept with the government of this course? This is really about, this entire class will be about being creative and thinking outside of the box, and learning about things how have been done, and therefore let's think differently. Let's do these things differently. And I think in that process, it is my hope that they will find some solutions and help make this world a better place. In the designing process, so I have most of the final product done. Now it's just about piecing together all of the little pieces. So the first part is the foundations of democracy, and then the different branches and how they work together. What are our civil rights? What are our civil liberties? What is the American ideologies and political beliefs? And then lastly, that last part will be that political participation, and how can they be active parts in it. So lots of little culminating lessons that will kind of focus on this one. I have found this challenging, and just to make sure that it's engaging, and what I'm struggling with is just that time component. How much research will they need to get done, and how long of a process is this? As we are working on it collectively, is it an hour a week? And so just the timing and where to do the actual instruction versus where we'll be a part of this. And then what did I learn about the creativity and yourself? I kind of gained this earlier, but really just get out of these kids' way, especially on that assessment. Allow them to shine. Like, don't give them this finite goal of this is the product in which I'm looking for, but you show me the creative process, and how can you really show me what we're looking for. Show me things that my little brain would never think of. And that's why I just love their brilliant brains. And what kind of questions and feedback, just little tips or suggestions that you have. And I know it's kind of a big process that I'm still trying to boil down, but hopefully I can get those and you can further help me design. I thank you so much for this class and your time. Have a wonderful day.